Section 1. Seizing the Morning. This section introduces the transformative power of the first 10 minutes after waking, emphasizing intentional rituals to shape mindset and identity. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're diving into the quiet power of your mornings, that fleeting moment when the world hasn't yet sunk its claws into you. Picture this, the soft hum of dawn, your eyes fluttering open, and the day stretching out like a blank canvas. It's serene, untouched, but here's the bold reality check. You might not survive this day as the person you want to be if you let it slip away. The first 10 minutes after you wake can rewire your entire future, shaping your mindset, your identity, your legacy. So before you get too comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoy what I do here. Drop a comment with your location and local time. I'm curious where you're joining me from. Now turn off the lights, maybe turn on a fan for a little white noise, and let's begin tonight's journey together. I'm lying in bed, the world still hushed, and I know this moment is mine to command. Most people wake up and stumble into the trap, rushing, reacting, drifting without purpose. They let the day own them before they've even brushed their teeth. But what if I told you that the first decision you make before your feet hit the floor could change everything? The morning isn't just a time, it's a statement. It says, I lead, or it whispers, I follow. I choose to lead. The way I begin is the way I become, and I'm not here to survive. I'm here to conquer. Let's talk about why this matters. Your morning is a mirror reflecting your discipline, your direction, your deepest desires. If I followed you for one morning, I could predict your future. Not because I'm some mystic, but because your habits betray your destiny. Most rise in reaction, jolted by alarms, drowned in demands. They let the world knock before they've knocked on opportunity's door. But the winners, they rise with intention. They know every great structure stands on a foundation, and your morning is yours. What you do before the world sees you determines how the world treats you. Here's where it gets real. That first hour isn't trivial. It's a declaration of control. When I step out of bed, I step into purpose. I reject the noise, no scrolling, no headlines, just clarity. Only the voice inside me that says, we're not here to drift. Snoozing, that's handing my power to fear. Hesitation tells the day it owns me. But when I rise with fire, when I speak my goals aloud, when I take one small step forward, I take command. That command becomes my compass. The morning doesn't give me power. It reveals it. And if I use it right, it multiplies it. Let's pause for an intellectual insight about aging. As we grow older, our mornings become more precious because time feels less infinite. Each sunrise is a reminder that our days are numbered, and how we start them sets the tone for how we spend our finite moments. Wasting mornings in youth feels harmless, but in later years, you realize those hours were investments in who you'd become. Start now while the clock still feels generous. Here's an odd fact. Did you know the smell of rain can calm your brain? It's something about actinomycetes, a bacteria in soil that releases a scent when wet, triggering relaxation. Imagine starting your morning with that kind of peace, maybe stepping outside after a drizzle to breathe it in. It's a small thing, but it's these details that ground us. Now, for something academically debatable, I'd argue that morning rituals are more predictive of success than talent or opportunity. Talent can fade, opportunities can vanish, but a disciplined morning routine builds a resilience that outlasts both. Scholars might disagree, citing socioeconomic factors or luck, but I'd bet on the person who masters their dawn. Let's lighten the mood. Ever notice how your coffee maker sounds like it's judging you when it sputters? Like, really? You're still half asleep. Or maybe your cat gives you that side eye when you hit snooze like, get it together, human? And don't get me started on those morning socks that vanish into the void. Where do they even go? Back to the ritual. My morning is sacred because it's mine alone. Before the emails, the calls, the chaos, I choose to anchor myself. Maybe it's 5 minutes of deep breathing, feeling the cool air fill my lungs. Maybe it's jotting down one goal, something to make today count. Or maybe it's just standing tall, shoulders back, telling myself, "You've got this." These acts aren't flashy, but they're powerful. They're me saying, I'm not just waking up, I'm rising. The beauty of this is its simplicity. You don't need a fancy journal or a sunrise yoga class. You just need intention. 10 minutes of focus can shift your entire trajectory. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. When I start my day this way, I'm not just reacting to life, I'm shaping it. And trust me, there's nothing more satisfying than knowing you've already won before breakfast. So as I lie here, the world's still quiet, I make a choice. I won't drift. I won't let the day dictate my path. I'll rise, I'll move, I'll speak my truth. Because this morning, like every morning, is a chance to become the person I'm meant to be. And I'm not wasting it. Section 2. The Mirror of Discipline. This section explores how morning routines reflect discipline and direction, setting the foundation for a purposeful life. I'm still in that quiet pocket of morning, the world barely stirring, and I'm thinking about what my first moves say about me. The morning is a mirror, not just reflecting my face, but my discipline, my direction, my deepest desires. It's like holding up a magnifying glass to my soul. Every choice I make, before the sun's fully up, reveals who I'm becoming. Most people don't see it this way. They stumble out of bed already reacting to the day's demands, letting the world scribble all over their canvas. But I'm different. I know my morning routine is the foundation of everything I'll build, and I'm not about to let it crack. This mirror of discipline isn't some abstract metaphor. It's practical, tangible. If I hit snooze 3 times, I'm telling myself I'd rather hide than face the day. If I scroll through my phone first thing, I'm saying other people's noise matters more than my own clarity. But when I rise with intention, when I make my bed, sip, water slowly, or write one clear goal, I'm declaring control. These small acts aren't just habits, they're votes for the person I want to be. Each one stacks like bricks in a fortress, building a life that stands firm against chaos. Let's dig deeper. Discipline in the morning isn't about perfection, it's about direction. I don't need to meditate for an hour or run a marathon before breakfast. It's about choosing actions that align with my purpose. Maybe it's 5 minutes of stretching, feeling the tension ease from my shoulders. Maybe it's reading a page from a book that sparks my mind. These moments set the tone like tuning a guitar before a performance. If I start out of tune, the whole day sounds off. But when I'm deliberate, every note rings true. Here's an intellectual insight about aging. As we get older, discipline becomes our lifeline. Youth forgives sloppy mornings. You can coast on energy and optimism. But with age, time sharpens its edge, and you realize discipline isn't just about productivity. It's about dignity. A disciplined morning keeps you from drifting into a life you didn't choose, preserving the spark that makes you you. Without it, the years can blur into regret. Now, an odd fact: did you know your brain's prefrontal cortex, the part handling decision-making, is most active right after waking? It's like your mind's CEO is wide awake, ready to strategize before the day's chaos takes over. That's why morning choices feel so potent. They're made when your clarity is at its peak. It's almost unfair how much power those early minutes hold. For something academically debatable, I'd say morning discipline shapes character more than evening routines. Sure, night owls argue their late hours are productive, But the morning sets the day's emotional and mental framework. Evening routines are about winding down. Mornings are about building up. Researchers might counter that consistency matters more than timing, but I'd wager the dawn's quiet amplifies every choice. Let's lighten things up. Ever try making your bed while half asleep and end up wrestling the blanket like it's a grumpy bear? Or maybe you've poured orange juice into your cereal. Yep, I've been there staring at the mess. Like, who let me adult today? And don't even mention the alarm clock that sounds like it's mocking you with every beat. Rise and shine. More like rise and whine. Back to the mirror. My morning routine is a contract with myself. It's not about impressing anyone. It's about respecting my own potential. When I take those first 10 minutes to breathe deeply, to move my body, to whisper my goals, I'm not just preparing for the day, I'm preparing for the life I want. It's like planting seeds in fertile soil. Every intentional act, whether it's a quick walk or a moment of gratitude, grows into something bigger. Neglect the soil and you get weeds. Tend it and you get a harvest. This isn't about being rigid either. Some mornings my discipline looks like a full workout. Others, it's just sitting still listening to the hum of my apartment. The point is, I'm choosing. I'm not letting the world choose for me. And that choice compounds. One morning of intention becomes a week, then a month, then a year. Before you know it, you're not just living, you're thriving. The world loves to pull you into its orbit, especially first thing. Notifications buzz, emails pile up, and suddenly you're drowning in everyone else's priorities. But I've learned to guard my mornings like a treasure. No news, no gossip, just me and my purpose. It's not selfish, it's strategic. If I don't set my direction early, I'll spend the day chasing someone else's map. And trust me, their destination isn't where I want to go. There's a quiet power in this routine. It's not loud or flashy, but it's unshakable. When I start my day this way, I walk taller. I speak with more weight. People notice not because I'm shouting, but because I'm grounded. My morning discipline doesn't just shape my day, it shapes how the world sees me. And more importantly, how I see myself. So as I sit here, the dawn still soft, I'm reminded my morning is my foundation. It's where I build the courage to lead, not follow. It's where I decide to be the architect of my life, not a tenant in someone else's. And with every intentional choice, I'm laying another brick in a legacy that's mine alone. Section 3. Rejecting the noise. This section discusses the importance of avoiding distractions, like news or gossip, to maintain clarity and focus at the start of the day. I'm sitting here, the morning air still cool against my skin, and I'm savoring this moment before the world starts shouting. It's so easy to let the noise creep in, those buzzing notifications, the headlines screaming for attention, the endless scroll of other people's lives. Most people wake up and dive straight into that chaos, letting it hijack their focus before they've even had a chance to find their own. But I've learned something. If I want clarity, if I want to lead my day instead of chasing it, I have to reject the noise. My morning is mine, and I'm not handing it over to gossip, news, or distractions that don't serve my purpose. This isn't about ignoring the world forever, it's about protecting the sacred space where I set my intentions. The first 10 minutes after I wake are like a blank page, and I get to decide what's written on it. If I fill it with the latest political drama or some influencer's breakfast post, I'm already reacting, not creating. That's a slippery slope. Once I start, I'm pulled into a cycle of comparison worry or just plain mental clutter. But when I keep the noise out, I hear my own voice, the one that knows what I'm here to do. That's the voice I trust to guide me. Let's get practical. Rejecting the noise means setting boundaries. My phone stays on silent face down until I've claimed my morning. No news apps, no social media, no emails. Instead, I might sip coffee slowly, letting the warmth ground me, or step outside to feel the dawn's quiet. These acts aren't just calming, they're defiant. In a world addicted to instant updates, choosing silence is rebellion. It's me saying I decide what fills my mind. And trust me, there's power in that. Here's an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, our ability to filter noise becomes both harder and more critical. In youth, we can shrug off distractions, but with time, mental bandwidth shrinks, and every irrelevant thought steals energy from what matters. Protecting your mornings in later years isn't just about focus. It's about preserving cognitive vitality. A cluttered mind ages faster than a clear one. Now, an odd fact: did you know that silence can lower your heart rate? Studies show even 2 minutes of quiet can reduce stress, hormones like hitting a reset button on your nervous system. That's why I guard my morning silence like gold. It's not just peace, it's physiology. Imagine starting your day with that kind of calm, like a secret weapon nobody sees. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that avoiding morning distractions builds emotional resilience more than mindfulness meditation. Meditation is great, but actively choosing to block out external noise trains you to prioritize your inner world over the outer one. Some psychologists might say structured meditation is more effective for stress management, but I'd bet on the discipline of selective attention as a stronger shield. Let's lighten the mood. Ever accidentally open your phone and get sucked into a video of a cat playing piano? Suddenly it's 20 minutes later and you're like, what just happened to my life? Or maybe your neighbor's lawnmower starts at 6 a.m., sounding like it's personally offended by your sleep. And don't get me started on those group chats that explode with memes before you've even found your slippers. Why people? Why back to the point? Rejecting noise isn't about being a hermit. It's about being strategic. My morning is when I calibrate my compass, and I can't do that if I'm drowning in everyone else's agenda. So I choose clarity. Maybe it's 5 minutes of journaling, capturing the thoughts swirling in my head. Maybe it's a quick stretch, feeling my body wake up. These moments anchor me, keeping my focus sharp when the world inevitably tries to pull me in 10 directions. There's a deeper layer here. Noise isn't just external, it's internal too. Those nagging doubts, the what-ifs, the mental replay of yesterday's mistakes. Part of rejecting noise is quieting that inner chatter. I do this by focusing on one truth: I'm here to build, not to drift. I might whisper a goal to myself or visualize the person I'm becoming. It's like tuning out static to hear the signal. When I clear that mental clutter, I'm not just surviving the day, I'm shaping it. The world will always be loud, especially in these hyper-connected times. It's designed to grab your attention, to make you react before you think. But I've found that when I start my morning in silence, I walk through the day differently. I'm not swayed by every ping or headline. I'm grounded like a tree, with roots too deep to be shaken by a storm. People notice it too, not because I'm loud, but because I'm steady. This practice compounds. One morning of clarity becomes a week, then a month, and soon it's just who I am. I'm not perfect. Some days I slip and check my phone too early. But I reset because I know what's at stake. My morning isn't just a routine. It's a declaration that I'm in charge of my mind, my energy, my future. And no amount of noise is worth giving that up. So as I sit here, the dawn still soft, I'm reminded this quiet is my power. It's where I choose focus over frenzy, purpose over passivity. By rejecting the noise, I'm not just starting my day, I'm starting my life, one intentional morning at a time. Section 4. The hard thing. First. This section delves into the power of tackling one challenging task each morning to build resilience and identity. I'm sitting here, the morning air still cool against my skin, and I'm savoring this moment before the world starts shouting. It's so easy to let the noise creep in, those buzzing notifications, the headlines screaming for attention, the endless scroll of other people's lives. Most people wake up and dive straight into that chaos, letting it hijack their focus before they've even had a chance to find their own. But I've learned something. If I want clarity, if I want to lead my day instead of chasing it, I have to reject the noise. My morning is mine, and I'm not handing it over to gossip news or distractions that don't serve my purpose. This isn't about ignoring the world forever, it's about protecting the sacred space where I set my intentions. The first 10 minutes after I wake are like a blank page, and I get to decide what's written on it. If I fill it with the latest political drama or some influencer's breakfast post, I'm already reacting, not creating. That's a slippery slope. Once I start, I'm pulled into a cycle of comparison worry or just plain mental clutter. But when I keep the noise out, I hear my own voice, the one that knows what I'm here to do. That's the voice I trust to guide me. Let's get practical. Rejecting the noise means setting boundaries. My phone stays on silent face down until I've claimed my morning. No news apps, no social media, no emails. Instead, I might sip coffee slowly, letting the warmth ground me, or step outside to feel the dawn's quiet. These acts aren't just calming, they're defiant. In a world addicted to instant updates, choosing silence is rebellion. It's me saying I decide what fills my mind. And trust me, there's power in that. Here's an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, our ability to filter noise becomes both harder and more critical. In youth, we can shrug off distractions, but with time, mental bandwidth shrinks, and every irrelevant thought steals energy from what matters. Protecting your mornings in later years isn't just about focus, it's about preserving cognitive vitality. A cluttered mind ages faster than a clear one. Now, an odd fact: did you know that silence can lower your heart rate? Studies show even 2 minutes of quiet can reduce stress hormones, like hitting a reset button on your nervous system. That's why I guard my morning silence like gold. It's not just peace, it's physiology. Imagine starting your day with that kind of calm, like a secret weapon nobody sees. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that avoiding morning distractions builds emotional resilience more than mindfulness meditation. Meditation is great, but actively choosing to block out external noise trains you to prioritize your inner world over the outer one. Some psychologists might say structured meditation is more effective for stress management, but I'd bet on the discipline of selective attention as a stronger shield. Let's lighten the mood. Ever accidentally open your phone and get sucked into a video of a cat playing piano? Suddenly it's 20 minutes later and you're like, what just happened to my life? Or maybe your neighbor's lawnmower starts at 6 a.m., sounding like it's personally offended by your sleep. And don't get me started on those group chats that explode with memes before you've even found your slippers. Why? Back to the point. Rejecting noise isn't about being a hermit, it's about being strategic. My morning is when I calibrate my compass, and I can't do that if I'm drowning in everyone else's agenda. So I choose clarity. Maybe it's 5 minutes of journaling capturing the thoughts swirling in my head. Maybe it's a quick stretch feeling my body wake up. These moments anchor me, keeping my focus sharp when the world inevitably tries to pull me in 10 directions. There's a deeper layer here. Noise isn't just external, it's internal too. Those nagging doubts, the what-ifs, the mental replay of yesterday's mistakes. Part of rejecting noise is quieting that inner chatter. I do this by focusing on one truth I'm here to build, not to drift. I might whisper a goal to myself, or visualize the person I'm becoming. It's like tuning out static to hear the signal. When I clear that mental clutter, I'm not just surviving the day, I'm shaping it. The world will always be loud, especially in these hyper-connected times. It's designed to grab your attention to make you react before you think. But I've found that when I start my morning in silence, I walk through the day differently. I'm not swayed by every ping or headline. I'm grounded like a tree, with roots too deep to be shaken by a storm. People notice it too, not because I'm loud, but because I'm steady. This practice compounds. One morning of clarity becomes a week, then a month, and soon it's just who I am. I'm not perfect. Some days I slip and check my phone too early, but I reset because I know what's at stake. My morning isn't just a routine. It's a declaration that I'm in charge of my mind, my energy, my future. And no amount of noise is worth giving that up. So as I sit here, the dawn still soft, I'm reminded this quiet is my power. It's where I choose focus over frenzy, purpose over passivity. By rejecting the noise, I'm not just starting my day, I'm starting my life, one intentional morning at a time. Section 5. Speaking Life Forward. This section highlights the role of morning affirmations in programming the subconscious and shaping one's future. I'm standing in my kitchen, the morning light filtering through the window, and I'm psyching myself up for what's next. The coffee's brewing its rich aroma, curling around me, but I'm not here to coast. There's one thing I do every morning that sets me apart from the drifters. I tackle the hard thing first. Not the easy wins, not the quick emails, but the task that makes my stomach twist, just thinking about it. It could be a tough conversation, a grueling workout, or even sitting down to write when my brain's screaming for distractions. Whatever it is, doing it first doesn't just clear my plate, it builds who I am. This one choice, this act of facing resistance head-on, is the secret weapon of every high achiever I've ever admired. Why the hard thing? Because it's not about the task itself, it's about the identity it forges. When I push through something I'd rather avoid, I'm training my mind to obey strength, not comfort. Most people wake up and chase what feels good, scrolling, snoozing, anything to delay the tough stuff. But that's a trap. Every time you dodge resistance, you tell your brain it's okay to shrink. I'm not about shrinking, I'm about sharpening. When I do the hard thing first, I break the grip of procrastination. I create momentum, not from motivation, but from action. And that momentum, it's like a fire that burns through the rest of my day. Let's break it down. My hard thing varies. Some days, it's a cold shower, the kind that makes me grit my teeth as the water hits. Others, it's writing a page of ideas, forcing myself to face the blank page's judgment. Today, it might be a 20-minute run, my legs protesting every step. The point isn't what it is, it's that it challenges me. I pick it, I commit to it, and I do it with everything I've got. Because when I finish, I'm not just done with a task, I'm someone who doesn't run from pressure. I'm someone who rises under it. Here's an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, our capacity to handle discomfort diminishes unless we actively train it. Youth lets you skate by on raw energy, but in later years, avoiding the hard stuff builds a fragility that's hard to undo. Facing tough tasks in the morning keeps your mental and emotional muscles strong, ensuring you don't become brittle with time. It's not just about today's win, it's about staying resilient for decades. Now, an odd fact, did you know that cold exposure, like a morning ice bath, can boost dopamine levels by up to 250%? That's a natural high that lasts for hours, no coffee required. I'm not saying I'm plunging into ice every day, but even a chilly shower gives my brain a kickstart that makes the hard stuff feel conquerable. It's like nature's energy drink minus the jitters. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that doing one hard task each morning rewires your brain faster than long-term goal setting. Sure, big plans are sexy, but the immediate feedback of conquering daily resistance builds neural pathways for discipline that outpace abstract visions. Neuroscientists might say, consistent small wins are less impactful than strategic planning. But I'd bet on the power of daily grit to reshape your mind. Let's lighten things up. Ever try doing push-ups first thing and realize your arms are like, nope, we're still on vacation? Or maybe you've attempted a tough email and accidentally sent it to your boss with, ugh, this sucks, still in the draft. Yep, been there. And don't get me started on those mornings when your running shoes look at you like, you sure about this, champ? The struggle is real, but so is the victory. Back to the ritual. Choosing the hard thing isn't about masochism, it's about mastery. When I face that resistance and win, I'm not just checking a box. I'm building a version of myself that doesn't flinch at challenges. It's like lifting weights for my character. Each rep makes me stronger not just for today, but for every day after. And the best part, that first victory sets the tone. The rest of my day follows my lead, not the other way around. There's a ripple effect here. When I start with a win, I carry that energy into everything else. Meetings feel less daunting, decisions come easier, and distractions lose their pull. It's not magic, it's psychology. My brain knows I've already done something tough, so the smaller stuff feels like a breeze. Plus, there's this quiet pride, like I've got a secret the world doesn't know I've already won before most people have even started. The world loves to tempt you with comfort, especially in the morning. That cozy bed, that glowing screen, their sirens calling you to stall. But I've learned to tune them out. My hard thing is my anchor, my proof that I'm not here to coast. And when I'm done, I'm not just relieved, I'm transformed. I'm someone who doesn't wait for motivation but creates it. Someone who doesn't let fear call the shots. So as I stand here, the coffee now poured, I'm ready. My hard thing is waiting, and I'm not backing down. Because this morning, like every morning, is a chance to build a life that doesn't just happen to me, it's one I choose, one tough task at a time. I'm standing in front of my bathroom mirror, the morning light casting soft shadows, and I'm about to do something that feels a little silly but changes everything. I look myself in the eye and speak words of strength, purpose, and belief. Today, I am unstoppable, I say. I was born for this. It's not just talk, it's a ritual. These morning affirmations are seeds I plant in my subconscious, shaping my state, my story, my steps. Most people wake up and mutter, defeat, I'm exhausted, or another brutal day. They get exactly what they speak, a life that matches their language. But I'm different. I speak life into my future, because words don't just describe my world, they create it. This isn't about faking it or pretending I'm a superhero. It's about programming my mind. The subconscious doesn't care if I'm fully convinced when I say I create peace and power wherever I go. It believes what I repeat. So I repeat strength. I declare who I am, who I'm becoming, not with doubt, but with fire. These words are like a match struck in the dark, lighting up my focus before the world tries to snuff it out. By speaking life, I'm not just preparing for the day, I'm preparing for the person I'll be years from now. Let's get real about how this works. I don't need a script or a motivational playlist. I just need a moment, maybe 30 seconds, to stand tall and say what matters. Some days, it's simple, I am focused. Others, it's bolder. I turn challenges into opportunities. I say it aloud, feeling the words vibrate in my chest. Why aloud? Because there's power in hearing my own voice commit to something. It's like signing a contract with myself. And when I step away from that mirror, I carry those words like armor. Here's an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, our self-narrative becomes more rigid for better or worse. In youth, we're flexible, trying on identities like clothes. But with time, the stories we tell ourselves about who we are, what we're capable of, harden into truth. Morning affirmations keep that narrative pliable, letting us redefine ourselves even as the years stack up. They're a way to stay the author of your story, not just a character in it. Now, an odd fact, did you know your voice's pitch can affect your mood? Speaking in a lower, steadier tone like you might in affirmations can signal confidence to your brain, triggering a cascade of calm. It's why I don't mumble my words in the morning. I say them like I mean them, and my body listens. It's a small trick, but it's like hacking my own biology. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that verbal affirmations reshape your self-concept faster than silent visualization. Visualizing success is powerful, but speaking it engages multiple senses, sound, vibration, emotion, creating a stronger neural imprint. Some psychologists might say visualization is equally effective, especially for spatial thinkers, but I'd bet on the visceral punch of spoken words to anchor identity. Let's lighten the mood. Ever try affirming yourself in the mirror and feel like you're auditioning for a bad self-help infomercial? You're a winner. Cue the awkward cringe. Or maybe your dog hears you and tilts its head like, "Who's this guy kidding?" And don't even get me started on the time I tried affirmations while brushing my teeth. Let's just say toothpaste, foam, and "I am powerful" don't mix well. Back to the ritual. Speaking life isn't just about positive vibes, it's about direction. When I say I am resilient, I'm not ignoring life's chaos. I'm choosing how I'll face it. These words set my emotional tone like picking the soundtrack for my day. If I start with "I'm tired," the day drags. But if I start with "I'm here to build," I move with purpose. It's not magic, it's intention. My body follows my words, my habits follow my body, and my destiny follows my habits. There's a deeper layer here. My morning words are a rebellion against the world's noise. Before the headlines scream fear, before the emails demand urgency, I speak my truth. I'm not letting someone else's crisis define my mindset. This is me taking the pen and writing the first line of my day's story. And that story, it's not about surviving, it's about thriving. I'm not just reacting to what comes at me. I'm creating the energy I bring to every moment. The ripple effect is real. When I start my day with these declarations, I notice a shift. I walk into meetings with quiet confidence. I handle setbacks with less panic. People sense it not because I'm loud, but because I'm certain. It's like I've already won a battle before the world even knows I'm fighting. And the best part, this practice grows stronger with time. One morning of affirmations becomes a week, then a month, and soon it's just who I am, someone who speaks their future into existence. So as I stand here, the mirror reflecting my steady gaze, I say it again. Today I lead with purpose. The words feel alive like a pulse. This morning, like every morning, is my chance to shape not just my day, but my life. And I'm not letting that power slip away. Section 6. Movement as momentum. This section examines how physical activity in the morning triggers mental clarity and confidence. I'm lacing up my sneakers, the morning air crisp, as I step outside, ready to move. The world's still half asleep, but I'm waking up my body, sparking that inner fire that carries me through the day. Movement in the morning isn't just exercise, it's momentum. It's me telling my brain, my heart, my spirit, that I'm not here to sit still. Most people shuffle from bed to couch, slumping into the day with shallow breaths and heavy thoughts. Not me. When I move, whether it's a brisk walk, a few stretches, or a full-on sweat session, I shift my state. I wake the warrior within, and that energy becomes my edge. This isn't about chasing a perfect physique or hitting some fitness goal. It's about what movement does to my mind. Ever notice how slumped shoulders drag your mood down, or how shallow breathing makes every worry feel bigger? My body writes my psychology. When I stand tall, breathe deep, or push through a set of push-ups, I'm not just warming up my muscles, I'm aligning my brain. Energy flows, clarity sharpens, and confidence surges. It's like flipping a switch from passive to powerful, and it starts with something as simple as a 10-minute walk. Let's talk about how I do this. Some mornings it's a jog around the block, the rhythm of my steps syncing with my breath. Others it's yoga in my living room, feeling the stretch in my hamstrings as the sun peeks through the blinds. Even on lazy days, I'll pace my apartment, shaking off the fog. The key is engagement, moving with intention, not just going through the motions. I don't need a gym or fancy gear. I just need to get my blood pumping to remind myself I'm alive and in control. Here's an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, movement becomes a shield against decline. It's not just about staying fit. Physical activity in the morning boosts neuroplasticity, keeping your brain adaptable. Youth lets you skip workouts without much consequence, but as years pile on, a sedentary start to the day dulls both body and mind. Regular morning movement isn't just self-care. It's a commitment to staying sharp and resilient into your later decades. Now, an odd fact, did you know that walking barefoot on grass, called earthing, can reduce inflammation? There's something about direct contact with the ground that might balance your body's electrical charge. I'm not saying I'm out here hugging trees every dawn, but a quick barefoot stroll on dewy grass. It's a quirky way to kickstart my morning with a little nature. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that morning movement is more effective for mental clarity than caffeine. Sure, coffee's a ritual for many, but the endorphin rush from a quick jog or stretch session clears brain fog faster and lasts longer. Some researchers might point to caffeine's immediate cognitive boost, but I'd bet on movement's ability to rewire your emotional state for the whole day. Let's lighten things up. Ever try a morning workout and trip over your own feet like your body's saying, "Whoa, we're not ready for this"? Or maybe you've done a stretch and heard a creak that sounds like your joints are auditioning for a horror movie. And don't get me started on the time I tried a new dance workout and looked like a confused flamingo. Mirrors are brutal, my friends. Back to the ritual. Movement is my morning's secret weapon, because it's not just physical, it's emotional. Motion creates emotion. If I want to feel bold, I move boldly. If I want to feel calm, I move slowly. This isn't about burning calories, it's about breaking free from hesitation. When I walk fast or lift something heavy, I'm telling my brain we don't lounge in limitation. That mindset carries into my work, my relationships, everything. It's like I've already won a battle before the world's even awake. There's a deeper layer here. Morning movement connects me to my body's strength, reminding me I'm not just a mind floating through life. When I feel my heart race or my muscles engage, I'm grounded in the present. It's a rebellion against the world's push to keep me glued to screens or stuck in my head. Plus, it's practical. Starting the day active makes me less likely to crash by noon. I'm not chasing a six-pack. I'm chasing freedom, the kind that comes from knowing my body and mind are ready for whatever's next. The ripple effect is undeniable. When I move first thing, I carry that energy forward. Decisions feel crisper, stress feels smaller, and I'm less likely to snap at the barista who gets my order wrong. People notice it not because I'm flexing, but because I'm steady. This practice compounds. One active morning becomes a habit, then a lifestyle. Soon, it's not just how I start, it's who I am. So as I step back inside, my cheeks flushed from the cool air, I'm alive. My body's awake, my mind's sharp, and I'm ready to own this day. Movement isn't just a task, it's my declaration that I'm here to lead, to create, to thrive. And I'm not slowing down anytime soon. Section 7. Commanding your thoughts. This section emphasizes the need to guard the mind's vulnerable state upon waking, to lead with intention. I'm lying in bed, the world still cloaked in that pre-dawn hush, and I'm acutely aware of this fleeting moment when my mind is wide open. It's raw, unguarded, like a blank canvas before the paint hits. This is the sacred sliver of time when I can command my thoughts, or let the world do it for me. Most people don't realize how vulnerable their mind is right after waking. They reach for their phone, the news, or some external noise, and before they know it, their thoughts are no longer their own. But I'm not most people. I know that if I want to lead my day, my life, my future, I have to seize this moment and steer my mind with intention. This isn't about being a control freak, it's about recognizing the power of that first mental breath. My mind is impressionable right now, like soft clay. If I let the world's chaos, politics, markets, or even my neighbor's drama rush in, it shapes me before I've had a chance to shape myself. Worry creeps in, comparison festers, and suddenly I'm reacting to someone else's agenda. But when I command my thoughts, I set the tone. I choose clarity over confusion, purpose over passivity. It's like locking the door before the noise can barge in. Here's how I do it. I start with a deliberate pause, maybe 10 seconds. Just breathing deeply, feeling the cool air fill my lungs. Then I focus on one truth: I'm here to create, not consume. Sometimes I visualize my day walking into a meeting with confidence, finishing a project with focus. Other times I silently affirm, I am in control. No phone, no radio, just me and my mind aligning before the world tries to pull me apart. It's not fancy, but it's fierce. Let's pause for an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, our mental flexibility wanes, making it harder to break free from habitual thought patterns. In youth, we pivot easily, but with time, the mind calcifies unless we actively train it. Commanding your thoughts each morning keeps that flexibility alive, ensuring you don't get stuck in a rut of negativity or autopilot. It's like mental yoga, stretching your brain to stay nimble as the years roll on. Now, an odd fact. Did you know that the brain's default mode network, which drives daydreaming and self-reflection, is most active right after waking? It's why your mind feels so open in the morning. It's literally primed to wander or focus. I use that window to steer my thoughts toward purpose, not let them drift into last night's argument or tomorrow's worries. It's like catching a wave before it crashes. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that controlling your morning thoughts is more critical for emotional stability than a full night's sleep. Sleep is vital, but a restless mind at dawn can undo its benefits, flooding you with stress before you've even started. Some sleep researchers might prioritize REM cycles over mindset, but I'd bet on the power of a focused morning to anchor your day's emotional tone. Let's lighten the mood. Ever wake up and your brain's like, hey, let's replay that embarrassing thing you said in 2007. Or maybe you grab your phone and get sucked into an article about top 10 ways your toaster is sabotaging your life. And don't get me started on those mornings when your alarm sounds like it's personally offended you. Beep, beep, you lazy human. The struggle's real, but so is the solution. Back to the ritual. Commanding my thoughts isn't about suppressing them, it's about directing them. My mind's a fire hose, first thing spraying ideas, fears, and random to-dos. If I don't guide it, it'll soak everything in chaos. So I choose my focus. Maybe I think about one goal for the day, picturing it done. Or I reflect on what I'm grateful for, grounding myself in abundance. These acts are like setting a GPS before I start driving. Without them, I'm just circling aimlessly. There's a deeper layer here. This practice is a rebellion against a world designed to hijack my attention. Every app, every headline, every notification is a thief stealing my clarity if I let it. By commanding my thoughts, I'm saying, not today. I'm not here to be drafted into someone else's war. I'm here to fight for my purpose, and that fight starts in my head, in this quiet moment, before the day begins. The impact is subtle, but profound. When I start my day this way, I move with intention. I'm less likely to snap at a coworker or spiral over a setback. People sense it not because I'm loud, but because I'm steady. It's like I've already won the inner battle, so the outer ones feel smaller. And this compounds. One morning of mental clarity becomes a habit, then a lifestyle. Soon, it's not just how I wake up, it's how I live. So as I lie here, the dawn still soft, I'm deliberate. I breathe, I focus, I choose. My mind is mine, and I'm not giving it away. This morning, like every morning, is my chance to lead myself before the world tries to follow. And I'm ready. Section 8. Writing to Anchor. This section explores how morning journaling clarifies thoughts and solidifies goals. I'm sitting at my desk, the morning light spilling across a blank notebook, pen in hand, ready to capture the chaos of my waking mind. The world's still quiet, and I'm taking these precious minutes to write not because I'm a poet, but because I'm a builder. Writing in the morning is how I anchor my thoughts, turning the fog of ideas, worries, and dreams into something solid. Most people let their first thoughts slip away like mist burning off in the sun. But I know better. Ideas not written become ghosts. Goals not penned become wishes. If I don't write it down, I lose it forever, and I'm not here to lose. This isn't about crafting a masterpiece. It's about leading my mind before it leads me astray. My head's a whirlwind when I wake, flashes of inspiration, nagging to-dos, maybe a stray fear from yesterday. If I don't tame that storm, it'll steer my day into chaos. So I write. 5 minutes, 10, doesn't matter. I scribble what's swirling, what I want, what I fear, what I know I must do. The act of putting pen to paper slows the rush, makes the invisible visible. It's like holding a mirror to my soul, turning scattered emotions into organized thoughts. Here's how it works for me. I start simple, maybe jotting down one goal for the day. Finish that project proposal. Or I write a truth, I'm stronger than my doubts. Sometimes it's a stream of consciousness, random thoughts, half-formed plans, even a grocery list if it's nagging me. The point isn't perfection, it's clarity. Writing is my way of pruning the weeds of doubt, watering the seeds of vision. It's me saying, this matters, and giving structure to my spirit. Every word is a choice. Every page a commitment to who I'm becoming. Let's pause for an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, our memory becomes less reliable, and the mind's ability to hold fleeting thoughts weakens. In youth, we trust we'll remember that brilliant idea later, but with time, those moments slip through the cracks. Morning writing isn't just about focus, it's about preserving your mental legacy, capturing the sparks that could define your later years. It's a way to keep your mind's fire burning bright even as the years try to dim it. Now, an odd fact, did you know that handwriting engages your brain more than typing? The physical act of forming letters activates neural pathways tied to memory and creativity, making your thoughts stickier. That's why I stick to pen and paper in the morning. My laptop can wait. It's like my brain's doing a little dance with every loop and line, locking in what matters. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that morning journaling builds self-awareness faster than therapy. Therapy's great for unpacking the past, but daily writing lets you meet yourself in real-time, spotting patterns and shifts as they happen. Some psychologists might say structured therapy is more effective for deep insight. But I'd bet on the raw honesty of a morning page to reveal who you are and who you're becoming. Let's lighten the mood. Ever start journaling and realize your handwriting looks like a toddler's after too much coffee? Or maybe you've written something profound, only to spill your tea and turn your notebook into abstract art. And don't get me started on the time I wrote "Be Bold" so aggressively I tore the page. Guess I was really feeling it. The pen's mightier than the sword, but it's no match for my clumsiness. Back to the ritual. Writing is my morning's anchor, Because it's not just reflection, it's refinement. It's me taking the raw material of my mind and shaping it into something useful. When I write, I'm not just reacting to the world, I'm creating my place in it. I'm not wandering, I'm walking a path I've chosen. And the best part, what I write becomes a roadmap. The goals I list turn into plans. The fears I name lose their grip. The gratitude I express becomes peace I feel. There's a deeper layer here. Writing is a rebellion against forgetting. My mind can't be trusted to hold everything great, ideas, hard truths, fleeting insights. Like Lincoln, with his scraps of speeches, or Edison, with his sketch-filled notebooks. I write to make my thoughts real. If I don't, they're just whispers gone by noon. But when I put them on paper, they're mine to act on, to build from. My notebook's a time machine, letting me carry today's clarity into tomorrow's reality. The ripple effect is powerful. When I start my day writing, I move with purpose. Decisions feel sharper, distractions less tempting. People notice not because I'm waving my journal around, but because I'm grounded in my own truth. This practice compounds. One morning of writing becomes a habit, then a lifeline. Soon, it's not just how I start, it's how I live with intention, with direction, with a record of who I am. So as I sit here, the pen gliding across the page I'm building, not just a day, but a life. My words are my foundation, my compass, my legacy. This morning, like every morning, is my chance to write my way into clarity, into purpose, into power. And I'm not letting it fade. Section 9: Gratitude's Hidden Strength. This section reveals gratitude as a strategic tool to shift mindset and fuel ambition. I'm sipping my morning tea, the steam curling up in the quiet, and I'm taking a moment to ground myself in something powerful: gratitude. It's not just a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's my greatest leverage, a strategic weapon for a strong mind. Most people wake up and focus on what's missing: their to-do list, their stress, their lacks. They start from scarcity, and it drags them down. But I begin with what I already have, and that shift changes everything. Gratitude centers me, reminds me I'm not starting from nothing but from abundance. When I begin my day feeling full, the world can't make me feel small. This isn't about ignoring problems or pretending life's perfect. It's about rewiring my perception, moving from complaint to creation. When I pause to name 3 things I'm grateful for: the breath in my lungs, the sunrise painting my window, the chance to try again today, I tap into a deeper strength. It's like filling my tank before the road gets rough. Gratitude doesn't kill my ambition. It fuels it. I chase my goals not out of desperation, but out of fullness, knowing I'm already whole. That's the kind of energy that draws opportunities like moths to a flame. Here's how I make it real. I sit still, maybe with my notebook, and reflect. I might say aloud, I'm grateful for my health, my family's laughter this quiet moment. Or I write them down, letting the words sink in. It's not a chore, it's a ritual as vital as my morning stretch. These 3 truths anchor me in joy and mental wealth. They're not always grand, sometimes it's just the fact my socks match today, but they're mine, and they're enough to shift my mindset from I need to I have. Let's pause for an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, gratitude becomes a lifeline for emotional resilience. Youth often chases novelty, but with time, we realize true contentment comes from appreciating what endures. Practicing gratitude in the morning trains us to find joy in the present, shielding us from the regret or nostalgia that can haunt later years. It's not just about feeling good, it's about building a mind that ages with grace, not grievance. Now, an odd fact: did you know that expressing gratitude can increase your oxytocin levels? The bonding hormone. It's like a chemical hug from your brain, fostering connection and calm. That's why I don't just think grateful thoughts, I say or write them. It's a tiny act that tricks my body into feeling more human, more alive right from the start. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that gratitude is more effective for long-term motivation than goal visualization. Visualizing success can spark drive, but gratitude roots you in a sustainable sense of enoughness, reducing burnout. Some positive psychology experts might prioritize future-focused techniques, but I'd bet on gratitude's ability to fuel consistent action without the crash of unmet expectations. Let's lighten the mood. Ever try being grateful for your coffee maker only to realize it's spitting out decaf by mistake? Talk about a betrayal. Or maybe you're thankful for your cozy bed, then trip over the blanket like it's plotting revenge. And don't get me started on the time I wrote grateful for my cat, only for her to knock my pen off the table. Classic feline gratitude tax. Back to the ritual. Gratitude is my morning's launchpad because it's proactive, not reactive. I don't wait for a win to feel thankful, I create the feeling first. This shifts my entire day. When I start from abundance, I'm less likely to snap at a slow barista or fret over a missed deadline. I'm not chasing validation. I'm sharing value. People feel it not because I'm preaching, but because I'm grounded. They're drawn to someone who radiates contentment, not complaint. There's a deeper layer here. Gratitude is my shield against the world's scarcity traps. Ads, social media, even well-meaning friends can make me feel like I'm not enough. My car's too old, my job's too small. But when I start with gratitude, I'm untouchable. I'm not begging the world to affirm me. I'm affirming myself. This isn't the end of hunger. It's the strength that feeds it. I pursue my dreams not to fill a void, but to express what's already within. The ripple effect is profound. A grateful morning makes me more patient, more creative, more present. It's like I've already won before the day's challenges hit. This practice compounds. One morning of gratitude becomes a habit, then a mindset. Soon, it's not just how I start, it's how I live, seeing blessings where others see burdens. I'm not a seeker anymore. I'm a steward of abundance. So as I sit here, the tea warming my hands, I name my 3 things. My steady heartbeat. The friend who texted me yesterday, this new day's potential. These truths are my foundation, my fuel. This morning, like every morning, is my chance to build from strength, not lack. And from that place, anything is possible. Section 10. One target, one win. This section focuses on setting a single meaningful daily goal to drive progress. I'm standing by my window, the morning light casting a golden glow, and I'm narrowing my focus to one clear target for the day. Most people wake up and dive into a frenzy, juggling endless tasks, only to end up exhausted with little to show for it. They mistake busyness for progress, but I've learned better. Power comes from precision, not chaos. By setting one meaningful goal each morning, I channel my energy into what matters most, turning movement into momentum. This isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the one thing that moves my mission forward. The beauty of this practice is its simplicity. I don't need a sprawling to-do list or a dozen priorities. I ask myself one question. What's the one win today that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? Maybe it's drafting a key email, finishing a workout, or having a tough conversation. Whatever it is, I write it down, speak it aloud, and visualize it done. This is my strike point, my assignment. Everything else, emails, errands, distractions, takes a back seat until this is achieved. By focusing on one target, I'm not just managing my day, I'm mastering it. Here's how I make it stick. I keep it specific and actionable. Be productive won't cut it too vague. Instead, it's write 500 words for my project by 10 a.m. I break it into steps if it's big, like outlining first, then drafting. Then I start no excuses. The world loves to pull me in 100 directions, but with one clear goal, I stay grounded. It's like aiming an arrow, draw, focus, release. When I hit that target, the satisfaction fuels me for the rest of the day, making even the small stuff feel lighter. Let's pause for an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, our energy becomes a finite resource, and spreading it thin leads to burnout or regret. Youth lets us scatter our efforts, but with time, we learn that focused action preserves vitality. Choosing one daily target in the morning teaches us to prioritize what aligns with our legacy, ensuring our later years are spent on what truly matters, not just what's urgent. Now, an odd fact. Did you know that the Zeigarnik effect makes unfinished tasks stick in your brain like mental post-it notes? That's why I pick one goal and finish it early. It clears the mental clutter, letting me focus without that nagging "you forgot something" feeling. It's like closing a browser tab that's been draining my brain's battery all day. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that setting a single daily goal boosts productivity more than multitasking. Multitasking splits attention, reducing efficiency by up to 40%, while a singular focus leverages the brain's ability to deep dive. Some management gurus might defend multitasking for fast-paced environments, but I'd bet on one intentional win to outshine scattered efforts every time. Let's lighten the mood. Ever set a goal to eat healthy and then find yourself staring at a donut like it's whispering sweet nothings, or maybe you aim to get organized only to spend an hour rearranging pens instead of tackling real work? And don't get me started on the time I set a goal to meditate but ended up daydreaming about tacos. Focus, where art thou? Back to the ritual. Setting one target is my morning's compass, because it's not just about getting things done, it's about getting the right things done. When I wake up with clarity, I'm not reacting to the world's noise. I'm directing my energy. This makes choices easier, distractions less tempting. A man with a mission isn't swayed by every shiny opportunity. He knows what matters. My goal is my anchor, keeping me steady when the day tries to pull me off course. There's a deeper layer here. This practice is a rebellion against the cult of busyness. Society loves to glorify hustle, fill every hour, check every box. But busyness is a trap, flattering the ego while betraying the mission. By choosing one win, I'm saying I'm not here to fill time. I'm here to fulfill purpose. That first victory sets a tone of intention like a domino that knocks the rest of my day into alignment. It's not about perfection, it's about progress, one step at a time. The ripple effect is undeniable. When I hit my target early, I carry that win forward. Meetings feel less daunting, setbacks less heavy. I'm not overwhelmed by options, I'm obsessed with outcomes. People notice not because I'm bragging, but because I'm purposeful. This compounds. One focused morning becomes a habit, then a lifestyle. Soon, it's not just how I start, it's how I build day by day toward a life I've chosen. So as I stand here, the dawn still soft, I write my goal. Finish that report by noon. It's clear it's mine, and it's within reach. This morning, like every morning, is my chance to aim true, to strike with intention. One target, one win. That's how I turn today into a step toward greatness. Section 11. The Power of Stillness. This section underscores the necessity of morning silence to forge inner peace and clarity. I'm sitting cross-legged on my living room floor, the morning stillness wrapping around me like a soft blanket, and I'm claiming something sacred: silence. Before the world's noise kicks in, before the emails, the calls, the endless hum of life, I give myself 10 minutes of pure, unbroken quiet. This isn't a luxury or some new age indulgence. It's a necessity, a rebellion against a world addicted to rush. Stillness is my armor, my moment to center myself in peace before the day tries to pull me apart. Most people leap from bed into the battlefield unarmed and unready, but I'm different. I know that the calmest minds make the sharpest decisions, and this quiet is where my power begins. This practice isn't about emptying my mind or chasing some Zen state. It's about listening to my heart, my intuition, maybe something deeper. In these 10 minutes, I breathe slowly, feeling my chest rise and fall and let the world fade. Sometimes I pray, whispering gratitude or asking for strength. Other times I just sit, letting thoughts drift like clouds without grasping them. This stillness is where clarity is born, where panic dies, and where I connect to my purpose. It's not laziness, it's leadership, the highest kind, because mastering myself comes before mastering anything else. Here's how I make it work. I find a spot today, it's this floor tomorrow, maybe my porch. I set a timer for 10 minutes. No distractions allowed. Phones off, doors closed. Even my cat knows not to interrupt. Well, mostly. I start with a few deep breaths, grounding myself in the moment. If my mind wanders to my to-do list or yesterday's drama, I gently pull it back. The goal isn't perfection, it's presence. These minutes are my meeting with my mission, a sacred ritual that sets me up to respond to the day, not just react. Let's pause for an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, stillness becomes a vital counterbalance to life's accelerating pace. Youth thrives on motion, but with time, we crave moments of pause to process the weight of experience. Morning silence trains us to find peace amid chaos, preserving mental clarity. As the years stack up, without it, we risk becoming overwhelmed, losing the wisdom that comes from reflection. Stillness isn't just rest. It's a way to age with depth, not distraction. Now, an odd fact, did you know that 10 minutes of silence can reduce cortisol levels, the stress hormone, by up to 20%? It's like a mini vacation for your nervous system, resetting your body's fight or flight mode. That's why I guard this time fiercely. It's not just calming. It's science giving me a physiological edge before the day's demands hit. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that morning stillness is more effective for decision-making than structured problem-solving techniques. Analytical methods like pros and cons lists are useful, but silence taps into intuition, often revealing insights logic misses. Some cognitive scientists might prioritize systematic approaches, but I'd bet on the quiet mind's ability to cut through noise and find the next right move. Let's lighten the mood. Ever try meditating and realize your brain's staging a full-on Broadway musical to-do list? Gotta buy milk. Or maybe your neighbor decides 6 a.m. is perfect for vacuuming, like, thanks for the ambiance, pal. And don't get me started on the time my cat sat on my lap during silence, purring so loud it was like a lawnmower, with feelings Zen meet chaos. Back to the ritual. Stillness is my morning's foundation because it's where I forge peace. The world's a storm, deadlines, drama, distractions, but these 10 minutes are my eye in the hurricane. They let me hear my own voice before others drown it out. I might reflect on my purpose or simply notice the way the light shifts on the wall. It's not about doing, it's about being. And from that being, I rise stronger, ready to act with intention, not impulse. There's a deeper layer here. Stillness is a declaration that my peace isn't negotiable. Society glorifies speed faster, replies more output, but I'm not playing that game. By choosing quiet, I'm saying my inner state matters more than external urgency. This isn't just self-care, it's strategy. A grounded mind sees opportunities where a rushed one sees obstacles. It's why champions in every field, from athletes to CEOs, carve out solitude. Their strength isn't from noise, but from discipline, from centering before the storm. The ripple effect is profound. When I start my day in stillness, I walk differently, calmer, steadier. I speak with weight, not haste. People feel it not because I'm louder, but because I'm rooted like a tree, unbothered by the wind. This practice compounds. One quiet morning becomes a habit, then a lifeline. Soon it's not just how I start, it's how I live, carrying that calm into every moment, no matter how loud the world gets. So as I sit here, the timer ticking down, I breathe deeply. The silence holds me, shapes me, whispers truths the world tries to bury. This morning, like every morning, is my chance to rise from peace, to lead from clarity. And from this stillness, I'm unstoppable. Section 12. Choosing your identity. This section discusses deciding who to be each day to align with long-term vision. I'm standing in front of my mirror again, the morning light softening the edges of my reflection, and I'm making a choice that will echo through every hour of this day. Before my feet even touch the floor, I decide who I'll be: courageous or cautious, present or distracted, a leader or a follower. The world's ready to slap labels on me, to push me into its mold, but I'm not here to conform. I'm here to define myself, to align my identity with the person I want to become forever. This morning ritual of choosing my identity isn't just a mindset, it's the cornerstone of a life built by intention, not chance. This practice is about claiming ownership of my narrative. Most people let their feelings dictate who they are. If they wake up tired, they act weak. If they feel scared, they play small. But I've learned feelings aren't leaders. They're followers. They trail behind my vision, my discipline. So I stand here and ask, who do I need to be today to step closer to my future self? Maybe it's the person who speaks up in that meeting, or the one who listens with patience. Whatever it is, I speak it aloud. Today I am bold. I am focused. I am kind. These words aren't wishes. They're directives shaping my thoughts, my tone, my presence. Here's how I ground this. I look myself in the eye, no dodging. I say my chosen identity, like I mean it, feeling the words settle in my chest. Sometimes I write it down. I am resilient. Then I carry it with me, letting it guide my actions. If doubt creeps in, I return to this moment, repeating my choice. It's not about pretending, it's about preparing. I'm not faking confidence. I'm forging it step by step, until it's not just what I say, but who I am. This mirror is my forge, and every morning I shape a stronger version of myself. Let's pause for an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, our sense of self can either solidify or fracture, depending on how we nurture it. Youth is a time of exploration. But with time, we risk becoming defined by past choices or external expectations. Choosing your identity each morning keeps you fluid, letting you evolve rather than stagnate. It's a way to age with purpose, ensuring your later years reflect who you choose to be, not who life told you to be. Now, an odd fact: did you know that mirror neurons in your brain fire when you observe yourself, almost like you're mimicking your own confidence? That's why speaking to your reflection feels so powerful. It's like your brain's high-fiving itself, reinforcing the identity you claim. I don't just talk to the mirror for kicks. It's a neurological hack that makes my morning choice stick. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that consciously choosing your daily identity builds self-efficacy faster than traditional goal setting. Goals focus on outcomes, but identity shapes behavior, creating a deeper, more sustainable drive. Some behavioral scientists might prioritize measurable objectives, but I'd bet on the power of who I am to outlast what I do in shaping long-term success. Let's lighten the mood. Ever stand in front of the mirror and try to hype yourself up, only to feel like you're starring in a low-budget motivational ad? You're a rock star, cue the eye roll. Or maybe your reflections like, nice try, but I saw you trip over the rug yesterday. And don't get me started on the time I practiced my bold face and scared my cat. She bolted like I was auditioning for a villain role. Back to the ritual. Choosing my identity is my morning's anchor because it's not about what I'll do, it's about who I'll be while doing it. When I decide to be courageous, I don't just tackle tasks. I face them with grit. When I choose presence, I listen better, love deeper. This decision sets my day's rhythm like picking the key for a song. It's not about ignoring life's mess, it's about meeting it with a version of myself I respect. And that version, it's magnetic, drawing people to me. Not because I'm perfect, but because I'm purposeful. There's a deeper layer here. This practice is a rebellion against a world that loves to define me by my job, my mistakes, my metrics. But I'm not a product of circumstance. I'm a force of choice. By naming my identity, I'm saying I decide who I am. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment with my vision, my values, my victory. Before the world can label me, I label myself, and that label becomes my shield, my sword, my compass. The ripple effect is real. When I start my day this way, I move differently, steadier, surer. I handle setbacks with grace, opportunities with boldness. People notice not because I'm shouting, but because I'm certain. This compounds. One morning of choosing becomes a habit, then a legacy. Soon it's not just how I start, it's how I live, walking in purpose, not wandering through life. So as I stand here, my reflection meeting my gaze, I say it again. Today, I am unstoppable. The words feel like a vow. This morning, like every morning, is my chance to forge not just a day, but a destiny. And I'm choosing it with fire. Section 13, The Morning Compass. This section introduces crafting a personal morning ritual as a guide for daily decisions. I'm sipping my second cup of coffee the morning now, fully awake, and I'm piecing together the elements of my personal morning ritual, a compass to guide my daily decisions. It's not a rigid checklist, but a tailored blend of actions that align my mind, body, and spirit with my purpose. Most people stumble into their day without a plan, reacting to whatever comes their way. But I've learned that a deliberate morning ritual is like a map keeping me on course no matter how stormy the day gets. This compass isn't about perfection, it's about direction. A way to ensure every choice I make today serves the life I'm building. My ritual is unique to me, crafted from trial and error. A mix of the practices I've been sharing, silence movement, affirmations, writing gratitude, and a single focused goal. It starts with 5 minutes of stillness, breathing deeply to center myself. Then I move maybe a quick stretch or a walk outside, feeling the morning air wake my senses. I speak my identity aloud, declaring who I'll be today. I write a page capturing my thoughts to anchor my focus. I name 3 things I'm grateful for, grounding myself in abundance. Finally, I set one clear target, my win for the day. Together, these acts form a compass pointing me toward purpose, not chaos. Here's how I keep it practical. I don't overcomplicate it, 15 to 20 minutes total max. I adapt based on the day. If I'm rushed, I might skip the walk, but never the gratitude. The key is consistency, not rigidity. I guard this time fiercely. Phone off, distractions out. It's like tuning an instrument before a performance. Each element sharpens me for what's ahead. My ritual doesn't just prepare me for the day. It reminds me why I'm here, what I'm fighting for, and who I'm becoming. Let's pause for an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, routines become our scaffolding, supporting us as life's complexities grow. Youth lets us wing it, but with time, we crave structure to channel our energy wisely. A morning ritual isn't just about efficiency, it's about identity preservation, ensuring the years don't erode our sense of self. It's a daily act of defiance against entropy, keeping us purposeful as we navigate life's later chapters. Now, an odd fact, did you know that the scent of coffee alone can boost alertness? It's not just the caffeine aroma, compounds, like those in my mug right now, stimulate the brain's attention centers. That's why I linger over my brew, letting its warmth and smell be part of my ritual. It's a small sensory anchor, like a signal to my brain. Time to show up. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that a personalized morning ritual is more transformative for self-discipline than external accountability systems like coaches or apps. External systems enforce behavior, but a self-crafted ritual builds intrinsic motivation, rooting discipline in personal meaning. Some behavioral psychologists might favor structured accountability, but I'd bet on the power of a ritual you own to reshape your life from within. Let's lighten the mood. Ever start your morning routine and realize you're out of coffee, so you're just sniffing an empty bag like a desperate detective? Or maybe you try to stretch and end up in a wrestling match with your own stiff hamstrings. Yep, that's me some days. And don't get me started on the time I tried to journal in my sacred silence, only to have my neighbor's dog bark like it's auditioning for a metal band. Serenity, where you at? Back to the ritual. My morning compass works because it's mine. It's not a one-size-fits-all formula from some self-help guru. It's built from what lights me up, what grounds me. The silence clears my head. The movement wakes my body. The words shape my mind, and the gratitude fuels my heart. Together, they're a shield against the world's noise, a guide through its chaos. When I follow this ritual, I'm not just reacting to life, I'm directing it, choosing my path before the day tries to choose it for me. There's a deeper layer here. This ritual is a rebellion against drift. The world loves to pull us into autopilot scroll work, sleep, repeat. But my morning compass says, not today. It's me staking a claim on my time, my energy, my destiny. By starting with intention, I'm not just surviving the day, I'm sculpting it, carving out space for what matters. This isn't about control, it's about freedom, the kind that comes from knowing where you're headed and why. The ripple effect is undeniable. When I start my day with this ritual, I move with clarity. Decisions feel easier, distractions less tempting. I'm not swayed by every ping or crisis because I've already set my course. People notice not because I'm preaching, but because I'm steady, like a ship that knows its harbor. This compounds. One intentional morning becomes a habit, then a legacy. Soon it's not just how I start, it's how I live, guided by a compass. I crafted myself. So as I sit here, the coffee now cooling, I'm grateful for this ritual. It's my map, my anchor, my fire. This morning, like every morning, is my chance to point myself toward purpose, to navigate with intention. And with this compass in hand, I'm ready for whatever the day brings. Section 14. Building consistency, daily. This section explores how small, repeated morning actions compound into lifelong transformation. I'm stepping out onto my porch, the morning breeze brushing my face, and I'm reflecting on the quiet power of consistency. Each sunrise brings a fresh chance to repeat my morning ritual. Silence movement affirmations, writing gratitude. One clear goal, and it's these small, repeated actions that are reshaping my life. Most people chase big dramatic changes, hoping for a single moment to redefine them. But I've learned that transformation isn't a sprint. It's a steady walk. By showing up for my morning routine day after day, I'm not just starting well. I'm compounding my growth, building a foundation that will hold me steady for years to come. Consistency isn't sexy. It's not the stuff of viral videos or motivational posters, but it's the engine of everything I'm becoming. Each time I sit in silence, I deepen my peace. Each stretch strengthens my body. Each word I write sharpens my clarity. These acts aren't flashy, but they stack like coins in a jar. One morning doesn't change me, but 30, 100, 1,000 mornings. That's a fortune in discipline, resilience, and purpose. I'm not chasing overnight success. I'm crafting a life that grows stronger with every dawn. Here's how I make it stick. I keep my ritual simple, 15 minutes most days, so it's sustainable even when life gets hectic. I don't demand perfection. If I miss a piece like skipping my walk because of rain, I still do the rest. The key is showing up even when I don't feel like it. I guard this time saying no to early meetings or mindless scrolling. It's like watering a plant. Miss a day, it's fine. Miss a month, it's dead. My mornings are my soil, and consistency is how I tend it, ensuring I bear fruit over time. Let's pause for an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, consistency becomes our greatest ally against decline. Youth forgives inconsistency. You can skip routines and bounce back. But with time, habits harden, and gaps in discipline erode health focus and purpose. A consistent morning ritual is like daily maintenance, keeping your mind and body resilient as the years accumulate. It's not just about living longer, it's about living better with intention that defies the wear of time. Now, an odd fact, did you know that habits take an average of 66 days to form, not the often quoted 21? That's why I don't stress if my ritual feels clunky. At first, it's a slow build, like laying bricks for a house. Each morning I show up, I'm cementing a neural pathway, making intention my default. It's quirky science, but it's why I trust the process even on groggy days. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that consistent morning rituals are more effective for long-term transformation than sporadic intense efforts like retreats or boot camps. Big events spark motivation, but daily habits rewire behavior through repetition. Some personal development experts might tout immersive experiences for rapid change, but I'd bet on the quiet power of daily consistency to outlast any temporary high. Let's lighten the mood. Ever try sticking to a morning routine only to have your alarm clock betray you with a dead battery? Or maybe you're all set for your ritual, then spill coffee on your journal like you're auditioning for a disaster movie. And don't get me started on the time I tried to stretch consistently, but ended up in a staring contest with my cat, who clearly thought I was mocking her yoga consistency. Meet chaos. Back to the ritual. Consistency is my morning's backbone, because it's not about one perfect day, it's about 1,000 good ones. Each time I choose silence over scrolling, gratitude over grumbling, I'm voting for the person I want to be. It's like compound interest. Small deposits grow exponentially over time. My ritual isn't just preparing me for today. It's preparing me for a decade from now, when I'll look back and see a life built not by luck, but by choice. There's a deeper layer here. Consistency is a rebellion against instant gratification. The world pushes quick fixes, diets, hacks, shortcuts, but I'm playing the long game. By repeating my ritual, I'm saying I trust the process. I'm not swayed by fleeting impulses or shiny distractions. This discipline frees me from the trap of needing instant results, letting me focus on what lasts. It's not about control. It's about commitment to myself, my purpose, my future. The ripple effect is profound. When I'm consistent, my days feel steadier, my goals closer. I'm not derailed by setbacks, because I know tomorrow's another chance to show up. People notice not because I'm flaunting it, but because I'm reliable, grounded in a routine that's become my second nature. This compounds. One consistent morning becomes a habit, then a legacy. Soon it's not just how I start, it's how I live, building a life that reflects my deepest intentions. So as I stand here, the breeze still cool, I'm committed. My ritual is my promise to show up day after day for the person I'm becoming. This morning, like every morning, is my chance to add another brick to a life I'm proud of. And with each consistent step, I'm closer to my greatness. Section 15. Legacy through intention. This section concludes by reflecting on how morning choices shape a lasting legacy. I'm sitting on my couch the morning now, a gentle hum around me, and I'm reflecting on the weight of these early hours. Every sunrise is a brushstroke on the canvas of my legacy, and the choices I make in these quiet moments, silence, movement, affirmations, writing, gratitude, focus, aren't just about today. They're about the mark I'll leave, the story I'll tell when I look back decades from now. Most people drift through their mornings unaware that each one is a chance to build not just a day, but a destiny. I'm not here to drift. I'm here to craft a life of intention, and it starts with how I rise. This isn't about chasing fame or fortune. Legacy is deeper than that. It's the values I embody, the people I touch, the quiet victories I stack when no one's watching. My morning ritual is my contract with that future self, a promise to show up as someone who leads, not follows. When I sit in stillness, I'm carving out peace that I'll carry into every relationship. When I move, I'm building strength that will hold me through life's storms. When I write, I'm capturing truths that will guide me long after today's ink dries. These acts, small as they seem, are the threads of a tapestry I'm weaving, one that will outlast me. Here's how I see it playing out. Each morning, I'm laying a brick in a foundation that grows stronger with time. My affirmations today might feel like whispers, but they're building a voice that will speak with confidence in years to come. My gratitude now might seem simple, but it's cultivating a heart that will find joy even in hard seasons. My focus on one goal each dawn might seem minor, but it's training me to prioritize what matters when life gets loud. These choices aren't just for now, they're for the person I'll be at 60, 80, or beyond, looking back with pride, not regret. Let's pause for an intellectual insight about aging. As we age, our legacy becomes less about what we've done and more about who we've been. Youth chases achievements, degrees, promotions, accolades. But with time, we value the intangibles: integrity, kindness, resilience. A morning ritual rooted in intention ensures we age into someone whose legacy isn't measured by trophies, but by the lives we've shaped, including our own. It's a way to grow old with purpose, leaving a trail of meaning behind. Now, an odd fact. Did you know that the oldest known written record, a Sumerian tablet from 3000 BCE, was about daily routines? Even ancient scribes valued tracking their days, like an early version of my morning journal. It's humbling to think I'm part of a 5,000-year tradition, scribbling my intentions while sipping coffee, connecting me to humans who also wanted their days to matter. For something academically debatable, I'd argue that intentional morning rituals are more predictive of a meaningful legacy than career success. Careers fade, but daily habits shape character, which endures. Some sociologists might emphasize professional impact or social status, but I'd bet on the quiet power of consistent mornings to define a life's lasting value. Let's lighten the mood. Ever try to leave a legacy in your journal only to doodle a stick figure instead? Or maybe you're all set for a profound morning thought, then your toast burns and your legacy becomes master of the smoke alarm. And don't get me started on the time I tried to affirm my future self but got distracted by my cat chasing a moth. Epic legacy meet epic fail. Back to the ritual. My morning is my legacy's workshop because it's where I practice being the person I want remembered. When I choose gratitude over grumbling, I'm building a heart others will feel. When I face a hard task first, I'm forging resilience that will inspire. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being purposeful. Each dawn, I'm not just starting a day. I'm starting a story, one that will ripple into the lives of those I love, those I lead, even those I'll never meet. There's a deeper layer here. This practice is a rebellion against a world that measures legacy by likes, followers, or bank accounts. I'm not building for applause, I'm building for impact, for truth. My morning ritual says I'm here to leave something real. It's me staking a claim on eternity, not through grand gestures, but through quiet daily choices. This is freedom, knowing my legacy isn't owned by circumstance, but shaped by intention, one sunrise at a time. The ripple effect is eternal. When I start my day this way, I carry a quiet certainty that affects every interaction. I'm kinder, clearer, bolder not for praise, but because it's who I am. People feel it, and it spreads. This compounds. One intentional morning becomes a habit, then a life, then a legacy. Soon it's not just how I start, it's how I'm remembered as someone who rose with purpose and left the world a little brighter. So as I sit here, the morning light fading into day, I'm resolved. My ritual is my legacy's blueprint, my promise to live not just for today, but for forever. This morning, like every morning, is my chance to build something lasting, and I'm all in. Closing summary. As the morning light softens, I'm left with a quiet certainty, the kind that settles deep in your bones. These early hours, with their stillness, their intention, their small acts of courage, are more than a routine. They're a lifeline to the life I'm meant to live. Each breath, each word, each step I take before the world wakes is a thread in a tapestry of purpose, one I'm weaving with care. You don't need perfection, just presence. A few minutes of silence, a single goal, a whisper of gratitude. These are enough to shift your trajectory, to make today a step toward a legacy that endures. The world will rush in soon, loud and demanding, but you've already claimed your power. You've chosen who you'll be, how you'll rise. So rest in that, let the day unfold, and know that tomorrow's dawn waits to greet you again. Keep showing up, keep building, and let your mornings shape a story worth telling. Sleep well, my friends, and dream of the person you're becoming. Good night.